Welcome everyone, my name is Damien and this is Granja how to play video. In this video I'm going to explain to you how to set up this game, how to play it, and also a couple of tricks and tips and strategies how to be better at this game. So let's start with how to set up this game. So the game comes with the main board and personal board for every player. So basically that's where you will get your resources, grow resources, and here is where you will deliver your resources to get some victory points. So to set up this game, you give each player 4 unique delivery tokens with the donkeys and hats. Then you give 1 coin, 1 victory point, 1 flat circle you put on the siesta track, and these things represent different resources in the game depending on where they are located. So each player starts with 1 crate, and also you place 1 in the middle of the main board. So the first player puts his symbol on marker number 2 in the middle, second player will put on the marker number 3. If you have 3 or 4 players, you just continue, put it on 4 and 5. So we will give the same things to the second player. Okay, so player boards are now set up. Then you put roof tiles, look like this, on roof tile track. Level 1 are immediately displayed face up. Number 2, 3, and so on, you put them face down. Then these markers, they represent who is going first or second. Then the next thing that we do is put 1 victory point on each craft buildings. So we have 6 buildings on the main board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So on each building you put in one of these 1 victory point tokens. Then we need to block some of these buildings. So 6 buildings are available through the game, but not all of them are available immediately. So what you need to randomly decide which buildings will be blocked. So you roll a die. So let's say we rolled 6. It means that building number 6 will be blocked. And during the game it will be unblocked first. So we are putting this symbol with number 1 on it to remember that this building will be unblocked first. And also we are placing an additional 1 victory point on it. Then we roll the die again. So building number 4 will be unblocked second, and building number 5 will be unblocked third. Because of the random dice roll, you have some variations in between different games. The last thing, second last thing, you give these tiles to each player as a reminder what they can do during the turn. And you also give each player 4 cards. So these are improvement cards that can be used through the game. You start with 4, but you have a max hand of 3 to begin with. Just at the beginning of the game you start with 4. That's it. You keep score money somewhere on the side. You put dice on this place. So when you get to one of the stages in the game where you will be using these locations, you will need the dice. The number of dice available in the game equals to the number of players. So for every player you have 2 dice. So because of 2 players we have 4 dice and plus 1. So in a 4-player game you will have 9 dice in total. Okay, so the game is set up, and now we are going to part 2, how to play this game. Okay, so now part 2, how to play this game. It's very useful to use this card as a reminder what you can do during the game. So the game plays for 6 rounds. Easy way to remember that is by looking at these roof tiles. So currently we have roof tiles number 1 available, and once we get to roof tiles level 6, it means that's the last round. So during the round we will be going through the 4 different phases, and in each phase players will be doing some actions in turn order. So a reminder, turn order determined by these tokens. So generally speaking, in phase number 1 you will be acquiring resources, and mainly you'll be acquiring your resources from your player mats. Then in phase number 2 you will be acquiring some more resources from the dice roll. Then phase number 3, that's where you will spend your resources. You do that by making deliveries. So when you have a couple of resources on your board, you can deliver them somewhere to the main board, and by doing that you will get victory points. And the last one, phase number 4, that's when you get some victory points. So this is end of the round scoring. Okay, so now let's have a look into further details what you can do in each phase of the game. So phase number 1, that's where you generally get some new resources, and let's have a look at what resources are available in this game in principle. So one of the resources is grape, grain, and olive. So by putting these tokens in each barn, you will get one resource of each type. Also you can have pigs, they are on this side of the board. The first action in phase 1 is use a card. So you use a card by placing it somewhere on the board. There are a couple of different ways you can do that. So you can put it on the left and it will become a farm extension. So if you have a card over there as a farm extension, each round it will produce you one of the resources. So you can add more cards as a farm extension. Effectively you can add as many as you want. You need more actions to do that, so you need to perform that action a couple of times. But effectively the number of cards is unlimited, either on this side or on this side. So at the beginning of the round they will be giving you one resource. And in case if you haven't used resources from your farms during the round, you will not get additional in the next round. Effectively it blocks that location. In case if you acquire resources through other ways in the game, like from the dice, we'll get to that a bit later, so you will be placing them in your dens. And these dens, they are unlimited. You can put as many resources over there as you want. Just be mindful that you cannot move them from your farm to your den. Then the other location on the board that you can use is farm improvement. So you put it on the right side. So in this case it can add you a couple of different benefits. So I'll show you 2 cards as an example. I'll just put them 2 simultaneously. So they can give you more places for stables. So you can get more pigs. Effectively pigs, the number of pigs you can have is limited. They can give you additional income each round, plus $1. And also they can increase the number of deliveries you make. One more thing that they do is increase your max hand size. So when you normally only have 3 cards in your hand, so you cannot have more than that. And by improving your farm, you can increase the number of max cards in your hand. So effectively, with 2 improvements, your hand increases to 5. Then the other thing that you can use them for is to place a card underneath. So when you do that, that card becomes an ability. So each card is unique, so just read what they do. They also have different colors, such as green or blue. So this color tells you when you can use this card. So if you look at this hint, each face has a color. So if a card is blue, you can only use it in phase 1. If it's green or gray, it means it can be used in phase 2 or 3. And the last location where you can put them is a market barrel. And I will explain what to do with them a little bit later. But for now, I'll just keep these 2 cards. The reason why I'm doing that is because in phase 1, normally you can only play 1 card. So in each round, you only place 1 card. The first round is an exception. You place 2 cards at once. And once you've done that, then you refill your hand to the max. So currently we don't have any extensions. So you refill. So you start the game with 4. Effectively, we used 2. And then you just refill to your max hand of 3. So that's done. Then the next step that you do is income. So this hand symbol means that you get any income that is on this side of the board. So you can get some later in the game. You can get some income in terms of resources, money, or crates. But right now you don't have any. So we skip that phase. So step number 3, that's where you grow stuff on your fields. So I will put 1 card over here, just as an example. So red player would get income of $1. And also red would get 1 grain on the farm extension in the step number 3. So the step number 4, that's where you can buy some additional resources. So steps 1, 2, and 3 of phase 1, that's you get resources for free. Step number 4, that's where you can buy these roof tiles. So again, in turn order, you can choose to pay 1 coin and choose to take 1 of these tiles. In round 1 and in round 1 only, the turn order is changed because the first player has some additional benefits later. So you buy tiles in a reversed order. So the last player can choose which tile to buy. But in the second round and in all rounds going forward, the first player has first dibs on these tiles. So red player in this case is paying $1 to take a roof tile, and you put it face up, meaning that the tile can be used at any moment when the player wants. When the player used that tile, in this case it's a pick, so if you choose to use it, you just flip it over to show that you've used it and you acquired a pick. So each tile has a symbol, and through the game I will explain you what different locations are doing, and you will know what each symbol means. So I'll skip that to save time. So let's say the first player also bought a tile. Okay, so this is the end of phase number 1. So now we are going to phase number 2, green 1. That's where we roll dice. So phase number 2 is where we also will be getting some resources. but they will be random. So with this roll, we have 2 5s, 2 2s, and 1 1. It means that now players, in turn order, so blue goes first, can choose one of the die. And by choosing the die, they will be choosing which benefit they wish to take. And once each player takes die, executes the benefit, there will be one die left. So that last die will go to all players. So with 4 players, again, every player will get 2 personal dice, and the last one, everybody will get benefit. Effectively, it means that each player will get 3 dice in each round. So now I will quickly explain what each location is doing. So the first one is a pig, means that you will get 1 pig. So you just place it in your farm. The second gives you one of the resources of your choice. So it's either grape, grain, or olive. So you just put them in one of your dens. One more thing that you can do here is a card. So whenever you see the symbol of a card, it means that you can either take 1 card from the deck. This way you can get more cards than your max hand. So this player has max hand of 3 cards, but if he chooses to use this action to get new card, he will have 4. Later on, if he uses any of the cards, his hand is still max 3. Or a better option, this symbol also means that you can play a card. So this way in phase 2 you can potentially use one of the cards that you have and put it somewhere on the board, either as a market barrel or as an additional improvement, farm improvement, or farm extension. Then the next location, that's where you can get 2 different resources. Next one, you get 4 gold. The next one is improvement or siesta. So this star symbol means an improvement. So each resource in this game has a basic version and an improved version. For example, grape is a basic version, and it can be improved to wine. So you do that. So if you have a grape and you choose to use this location, so you use 1 star to move 1 resource from one den to another one, and you show, by doing that, you effectively show that you now have 1 wine. In terms of improvement, there is another way you can improve your resources. You can just pay. So for example, grape improves to wine for 3 gold. Grain or olive, they cost only 2 gold to be improved to food. And pigs can be improved to steaks by paying 4 gold. Then the next thing that you can do here is siesta. So each hat represents 1 step on the siesta track. So let's say red player chooses this location and chooses to use 2 hats. So red player will go up 2 steps on siesta track. Then the last location is, I'll get to siesta a little bit later, what it means. So the last step is either 2 gold or 1 delivery. Again, delivery will touch base in the next step. So this is all in terms of phase number 2. That's where you get some additional resources. Now phase number 3, that's where you spend your resources. In order to spend the resource, you need to deliver it somewhere. So the donkey symbol represents a delivery action. So first, in phase number 3, the first thing you do is you choose how many deliveries you want to make. So each player starts with 4 tokens that are effectively a combination of hats siesta, or donkeys. So you choose how many deliveries you make. Let's say 1, it means that you will automatically choose in the 3 siesta tracks. You do it secretly, you hide the rest, and once each player decided how many deliveries they will make, you simultaneously reveal them, and then you move on siesta track accordingly. So first, player number 1 resolves his card. So player number 1 decides to make 1 delivery, meaning that he will go up 3 steps on siesta track. 1, 2, 3. And player number 2 decides to do 4 deliveries. It means that he doesn't go up on siesta track at all. So this is just a choosing how many steps, how many deliveries you want to make. The next thing, number 2, that's where you change the turn order. So turn order in this game changes in the middle of the round. And the way to determine who goes first is by the siesta track. So who is on top, that player goes first. So in this case, blue remains the first player and red remains the second player. Next step, number 3, that's where you make your deliveries. So player number 1 has only 1 donkey, so he will be doing 1 delivery. And the delivery means that you are taking one of the resources, either pigs or basic or improved resources, or crates. Crates are also a resource and can be delivered. So you choose which resource to deliver and where. So there are 2 main areas where you can deliver your resources. One is craft buildings. So there's 6 locations on the board. And each location, once complete, so in each location you need to deliver multiple things. So in this one, for example, you need to deliver 6 money. So you need 6 actions, and you need to pay $1 during each action. In this place, you need to pay 3 improved resources: food, wine, and steaks. Here it's a combination of basic resources, 3 crates, 6 basic resources, and 3 pigs. So once you do that, once you complete the entire row, then you will get some bonuses. I will get to those bonuses a little bit later. Another thing that you can do is to deliver to your market barrel. So these cards can be placed on top, and by doing that, they become market barrel. So for example, with this card, you will need 4 resources, and with 1 action, we can deliver 1. So that's it. The player has done 1 action, and that's his deliveries for this round. But let's say if green has done a couple of rounds already and has delivered all 4 different types of resources, when the last resource is delivered to the market barrel, delivered from these locations to here, it means that the market barrel is complete. So what you do now, first you get a crate, so you place one of these resources to your main board, and second, you place one of the market barrels on the main board in the center. So each market barrel has different value. This one in particular is 5. The more valuable they are, the more resources they require. So with this particular card, you're placing one of the market barrels in the center of the map on locations with value number 5. You choose any that you can use. With 2-player games and 3-player game, with 2-player games, some of the locations are blocked with the crosses, so the map is a little bit smaller. But normally you have a couple of options. So you're placing it on value number 5, and you get 5 victory points for that. The card itself is discarded. Now, once you've placed your market barrel in the center, you can knock out other players. So in case, if when you placed your market barrel, there are market barrels around you of lesser value, you can knock them out. So in this case, your own card is intact, you never knock out yourself. The opponent's is on market barrel value 3, so you knock him out. And by doing that, you get one additional victory point. So for each market barrel you knock out, you get one victory point. So that's it, we deleted market barrel. Now the second player then does the same thing. And in step number 4, you can do some additional deliveries. So additional deliveries are paid deliveries. So if you want to do extra, you need to pay $1 for each additional delivery, and also there is a limit how many you can additionally do. So by default you can do only one extra, but in case if you put cards as an improvement, you can increase the number of paid deliveries during the game. You still have to pay $1 for each additional delivery. Now I will explain to you the benefits of these buildings themselves. So why would you want to go there? So when you complete a building, there are two main benefits that you get. One is victory points straight away, and the second is an improvement. The number of victory points that you get for completing a building, so let's say green player has delivered 5 resources to this building. You will need probably a couple of turns to complete one, but still when you do that, you get the number of victory points corresponding to the round you're currently in. So we are currently in round number 1. Normally you probably can complete a building only in round 2, but let's say we are in round number 1. So when you do that, you get 1 victory point for the round. Then when you've done that, you remove all your tokens and place 1 in this corner to represent that you have done this building already. So you cannot go to this building anymore. But if you're the first to complete a building, you get 1 bonus victory point. So each building has a bonus victory point if you're the first to complete it. And then one more thing. In case if there are blocked buildings, like in our case, one of them becomes unblocked. That's where the order these buildings are unblocked comes into play. So each of the blocking tiles, it has a number 1, 2, 3. So you remove the tile with number 1. In our case, it's this building. So you remove the blocking tile, and it also has 1 victory point. So this is an additional victory point bonus. So these are our bonuses for completing a building. But then each building additionally has tokens, and each token will give you some additional bonuses. So let's have a look at what this building can do. Each token has 2 sides to it. One with the infinity symbol, that's something that you will be getting for this token for every consecutive round, and the lightning symbol, that's what you get immediately upon completion of the building. So the first building with money, the immediate bonus is 3 gold, the ongoing bonus is 3 gold as well. So when you complete it, you immediately get 3 gold. And in phase number 1, when we will be getting income, this token will be giving you 3 gold each consecutive round. Then the next building, I will explain them in a different order. So the next building is number 4 with the crates. So crates are this resource. So immediate bonus is again just 1 crate, and ongoing bonus is 1 crate as well. You also get it in phase 1, in the income phase. And in the building number 5, you can get one of the resources of your choice, including pig. So one-off thing, and ongoing bonus is also one of the resources, and you also get it in phase number 1. Now the other tokens that you can have is in the building number 2 with the donkey and siesta. So the immediate bonus, you get a donkey, so meaning that you can have an immediate free delivery, and also you get head and victory points. So what that means is you look at your current location position on the siesta track and you get victory points for that. So blue or red would get 1 victory point straight away. But ongoing bonus for this tile is an additional delivery and 1 step on siesta track. So in each consecutive round going forward, you will have an extra free delivery in phase number 3. And you will go up on siesta track an additional step for free. Then building number 3, an immediate bonus is 2 victory points, and ongoing bonus is 2 victory points for every building that you can buy after this one. And then the last one, building number 6, the immediate bonus, you get victory points corresponding to how many market barrels you currently have. So if you don't have any, you don't get an immediate bonus. But ongoing bonus is an additional 1 victory point for each market barrel that you complete and deliver to the central board. So these are the buildings that you can have. And in phase number 4, you don't do any actions, you just score the victory points. So first, you get victory points for each market barrel in the central location. So in this case, blue gets 2, red doesn't have anything. Remember, this is just a depiction that you have completed the building, so it's not a market barrel. So you get 2. Then the next thing you do is get victory points for siesta track. So in this case, both players get 1 victory point. Then you just set up the game for the next round. So you move your markers back, and who is the highest goes on top, and you put them to 0. And then you reveal the next roof tiles. That's it. That is the end of the round. Now a couple of things that I have jumped over and worth remembering. So these crates, they can always be exchanged for one of these things. So you don't need to wait for your turn order, you just can do that at any moment. You can exchange one crate for either 4 gold, 2 different resources, or play a card, or 1 pig, or you can have 2 upgrades. Then some of the cards can only be used a limited number of times. So look at the bottom corner. If there is a limit, there will be something like 1x. And the last thing, very important, when you're placing a card to the right side, you have to pay for that. So if you put a card as an improvement at the bottom, on the top, on the left, you don't pay for that. But if you put it on the right, you have to pay some resources for it. For the first card, you need to pay 1 resource. For the second card, you need to pay 2 resources. For the third, 3, and so on. So the resources can be any, but they have to be different. So let's say if you're placing third card, you need to pay, you can pay with 1 victory point, for example. It still counts as a resource. You can pay with crates or with any type of resource you have. Okay, this is all in terms of how to play this game, and now I'm going to the next part of this video, a couple of tricks and tips how to be better at this game.